Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Orduna, this is my mom Gina.
He is the journalist.
She's the enthusiast.
Oh my gosh, I'm so enthusiastic because we got some college football nonsense going on.
Yes, I think you coined the phrase college football chaos. Yes, that is the truth. We got to talk about all the coaching carousel news and updates that have been going on. It seems like it is just every day there's a new school dropping a coach or a new school picking up a coach. Then we got the college football playoffs where there are so many scenarios that we're not even going to get into them today. We're just going to focus on that for our show tomorrow, as we have all of the conference championship games taking place this weekend, and it is going to be crazy. So let's get into the coaching carousel, as that is really, to me, the main stuff that I want to get into, and then we'll kind of talk about the playoffs and just kind of where all the teams are at up to this point.
Perfect.
So we have 10 Division I teams within the Power 5 conferences that had open vacancies throughout this year. 3 of them out of the Pac-12. We have 1 out of the Big Ten, and then we had 6 out of the SEC. What are your thoughts on why these openings are happening?
Records. And quite frankly, delusion of the boosters.
Yeah.
There are teams that want to be national championship contenders year after year after year.
Right.
Well, there's only 2 teams that are going to be in that discussion.
Absolutely.
And, there's only 4 that are in the quote-unquote playoffs, which is just a Final Four, might as well be the BCS.
Correct.
And there's only 25 teams who are going to be in the top 25.
Yep.
There is a little bit of delusion going on here, and there are teams that are like, we're not winning, so out the door you go. There are other teams that absolutely needed to get rid of their coaches.
Correct.
So I just think that this is kind of the way of the world of college football. I'm a little surprised to see 6 teams in the SEC
that is a
at
lot.
the same time. Because here's my question, Adam. Who are you going to get?
Correct.
There's now 6 of you all fighting for supposedly the next best good thing.
And then essentially you're just playing Red Rover with the same coaches in the same conference. A lot of these coaches are sticking within the same conference. So it's like, okay, yeah, I was over here, but now I'm going to go over here. I just literally moved across the street or next door. So it's like, okay. Well, let's talk about the 3 Pac-12 schools. You have Oregon State, you've got UCLA, and then Arizona State. Oregon State had Mike Anderson, who dropped out halfway through the year. They went with an interim
he just
coach.
Quit, didn't he?
He just quit. He said, you know what, I'm packing my things up and I'm gone.
That's terrible.
And he just said, I'm done. He didn't even want to take any of the money that they offered him or whatever. He just said, no, I'm done. So they have an interim coach up there right now. Black guy, young guy, like him. But I don't know if he's going to get the job. Then UCLA, that job came open after Jim Moore got canned, which needed to happen for sure. That's one of those.
This is me doing the walking. Bye-bye, Jim Moore.
The 2 LA schools are elite programs in this country. They deserve the best of the best. But they ended up hiring Chip Kelly, which that makes a lot of sense.
That does make
so
sense.
that
makes sense for them. It's Pac-12. It's all of that.
Correct.
Yes.
And then now you have Arizona State, who let go of their coach this year, and
Todd Graham.
Todd Graham, thank you. And then Herm Edwards is now their top candidate. Now I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not, but
he said he'd take the interview. So
he's definitely thinking about it for sure. So those are the 3 Pac-12 teams. Then the 1 Big Ten team.
I can't even hardly hold it.
I mean, honestly, it's not news because we knew it was going to happen. But Nebraska let go of Mike Riley, and it needed to happen, and thank goodness. And so there's been so many talks about who the potential hire could be. Bill Moose has done a really good job.
He's our AD.
The new AD, because that's what had to happen first, which is what I said needed to happen for Mike Riley to be gone. And that is exactly what happened. Sean Eichhorst got let go. The board of the regents said, you know what, we got to move on. And then they hired Bill Moose. Great hire. He's done a great job of talking to everybody in the state, all the alum.
Was amazing.
He's done a lot of really good things already, even talking to the players. Everyone's hoping for Scott Frost. I would love to see Scott Frost back at Nebraska. I think that's what's going to happen, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And then the 6 SEC schools, that is really where it's just crazy. Let's talk about those schools really quickly here. Do you want to run down some of those schools here?
I'll just list the schools real quick. Old Mississippi, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Florida, Texas A&M, and Arkansas. Those are your 6 SEC schools that all let go of someone. So you had Brett Bielema at Arkansas, gone. Kevin Sumlin at A&M. And if you go back and watch some of Adam's other old shows, we had him on the hot seat from the beginning of the year.
We
knew that.
Did.
We knew it was going to happen.
We did.
Florida had to get rid of Jim McElwain. That was another one I was happy to see walk his way on out the door. Tennessee let go of Butch Jones, and that was like a couple of weeks ago. Ole Miss
had Hugh Freeze. Now Hugh Freeze got let go. Ole Miss let go of Hugh Freeze because of all the
sexual scandal and his phone
and the prostitute stuff going on. They just couldn't be tied with that.
And Mississippi State had their coach say,
he said, I'm going to go. Dan Mullins, who is a really good coach, decided to take the Florida job. And so now you have all of those schools in flux. Now, Florida just filled their void with Dan Mullins, but then that leaves Mississippi State open. Well, Penn State, their offensive coordinator is now going to take that job at Mississippi State. Yeah, exactly. Arkansas is still without. Tennessee is without. We'll talk about that in just a second. And then Ole Miss decided to keep their coach that was filling the interim job.
His name is Matt Luke, and he was their interim, but they said, we're taking the interim off. This is our guy. We're going.
So back to Tennessee, where this has been a huge scandal the entire time. Butch Jones got fired, and rightfully so. There is a lot of people that want to see Tennessee back on top. And there are a lot of coaches that I think could be a good fit for Tennessee. Well, Greg Schiano, who did a really good job at Rutgers, really is the reason why Rutgers is in the Big Ten right now, had a small stint in the NFL with the Buccaneers. It's really hard to make that jump. Not that many coaches make the jump to the NFL and are extremely successful. But he came back. Once he got let go, he was an analyst for a while on ESPN, and then he got picked up by Urban Meyer on Ohio State staff to be kind of the head assistant coach and D coordinator.
But before all of that, he was at Penn State during the Jerry Sandusky, just deplorable years of disgust,
awfulness that was going on. Yes,
it's just evil. That's what you have to call it. So people rumored that he was one of the guys that knew about it or was aware of what Sandusky was doing.
He was on staff while the stuff was going on.
And that he didn't do enough. So he was hired at Tennessee. He was getting ready to fly in.
Contracts were sent. It was basically a done deal. And then there was protests.
The public outcry, including protests on campus. And the president of the campus, he said, I got calls from the governor. I got calls from my congressman. So the outcry was so much that they said, hey, we're going to introduce you. Oh, wait, let me see you the door.
Actually, there's something out here there's something I got to show you. And then they pushed him out, locked the door, and said, never mind. We're
nothing to see here.
Actually, there's no press conference today. We're going to go moving on.
So Ole Miss has got their guy. Mississippi State's got their guy. And Florida's got their guy.
Correct.
But Tennessee does not. A&M does not, and Arkansas does not. So those are 3 big gigs sitting there
huge jobs that will be looking for a coach.
And they came from Mike Van Gundy, who said, we're good in the Big 12. I'll leave you guys to do that SEC nonsense.
Mike Gundy. Yeah, Mike Gundy.
I always call him Van Gundy.
I do. Right,
but Mike Gundy. Hey, we're glad he's staying here.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason for him to leave. So that's kind of the coaching carousel. There's going to be more stuff going on as other coaches will take jobs, and then that means there are going to be more openings for those schools. So we'll continue to keep you updated. I hope Scott Frost comes to Nebraska.
Yes,
let's make that happen.
Let's make that happen.
Okay, so now with the college football playoffs nearing, we've got to just quickly talk about where the new playoff rankings are right now. Why don't you run down those?
Absolutely, happy to. Number 1 is 11-1 Clemson. Number 2 is a 10-2 Auburn. Number 3 is a Georgia at 10-1. Excuse me, no,
Oklahoma.
I'm so sorry. Oklahoma at 3 at 10-1, and then number 4. No, Alabama's number 5.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4 is Wisconsin undefeated at 12-0. Number 5 is Alabama, whose only loss came in the Iron Bowl against Auburn just last weekend. And then Georgia is sitting there at number 6
with their only loss to Auburn
as well. And then you've got Miami at 7 and Ohio State at 8, and those are important because you're like, you got a 1-loss Miami who they're letting you know you don't even have a shot.
Correct.
You've got a 2-loss Ohio State that I think the committee has set up to say you don't have a shot. And I think that was done on purpose because even if they beat Wisconsin, I think it's going to be a big jump to go from number 8 up to the top 4.
Right.
But we'll get into that tomorrow. But
correct.
My hope, and when we talked about this in pre-production, is that this is going to lead to enough chaos that you will finally get us a real playoff. This is not a playoff. This is just the Final Four.
Yep.
You might as well have the BCS.
Correct.
Put the computers to pick.
Just pick it. Yeah, exactly.
It's just random.
Yep.
And what we need is a real playoff. We need 8 teams. You don't need 10. You don't need 16. You need 8 teams.
Exactly.
To play against each other in 3 rounds and then decide our national champion.
Correct.
That's what needs to happen.
Well, again, we're going to have a lot more on this tomorrow as we're going to really focus in on all the different scenarios that will break down and will take place. And so
Champions Week this week.
We have a lot going on. Exactly. Conference champions will be crowned this weekend for sure. So
do you think we're going to get to 8?
I think so. With certain teams being left out, I think it'll finally
I need Alabama out of there because that will fix it.
Alabama and Ohio State being out will be huge.
That'll fix it.
Well, we want to say we appreciate your time, folks. Continue to follow us on all of our social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page. We'll see you again, folks.